What's going on, everyone? The market was a little bit choppy today, but that is more than expected after the giant run-up that we've seen over the past 2 weeks. In today's video, we're going to go over some of the best setups for tomorrow, a very important set of events that not too many people are talking about, and some other important things you need to know about the market right now. And with that being said, Tom, let's jump right into it.
Yeah, that market was pretty choppy today, Mike. It tried to run up, and overall, it actually closed green a little bit, up 0.21% on the SPY. But you can see that the overall movement today was very flat and choppy, especially if you're counting it from market open. Now, if you're counting it from the close of yesterday, like I said, we were green, but from open today, it was a pretty negative day. So I'm looking at the SPY here. We ran right up to that big 450 to 451, 452 resistance. I'm really going to watch it here for a pullback. We talked about this yesterday, and we've been talking about it for the past couple days. The market is just way too high right now, and it just keeps running up, right? But I have a feeling that after that inflation event came out, and after we had this big run, we will start to come back. And there were a couple stocks that really started to move back down today, like Tesla, for example. They ran up early on, but a lot of these moves towards the mid to end of day ended up being pretty rough, especially for some of the larger tech stocks.
No doubt. I mean, Apple did nothing today. Nvidia fell a little bit. Microsoft fell a little bit. So the big tech stocks really are starting to see some profit taking here, and that should not surprise anyone. Because, Tom, let's go to a chart of SPY, and let's go to a daily chart. What we could see over the past 2 weeks is obviously a giant run-up. When we look at a run-up of this size and look at other run-ups similar to this size in the past, we always see a period of either flatness or most of the time a period where the market just tanks back down. It happens every time, and it's just normal because when you see this market go up this much this quickly, it's just how the market works, right? So going forward, I would not be surprised if we did see the market slow down a little bit, but there are still a lot of opportunities with that. Now, when the market slows down, a lot of times that can present a great opportunity for other stocks that basically do whatever they want. A lot of China stocks do exactly that. And what's interesting, Tom, is as we talked about in yesterday's video, there's been a pretty influential meeting between Joe Biden and then President Xi from China. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, and I was pretty happy. I looked at BABA today. I looked at NEO, and they're kind of popping up into this meeting. But yeah, they're meeting today, and the meeting has actually already started. And there's actually a whole bunch going on here. She is actually supposed to meet with CEOs as well, which we'll get into in a little while. That might even be more important than meeting with Biden. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. But looking at this meeting here, so far, so good, right? They're having some good conversations. There's a lot of, I would say, misinformation. I'm not going to say misinformation, but there's a lot of weird stuff on Twitter, right? There's a lot of tinfoil hats going on, maybe what they're talking about in the background and different stuff like that. But we still have to see how this event goes. Right now, it's only 1:30 p.m. on the West Coast. So keep in mind, this event will probably go on pretty far into the night, especially if you're on the East Coast. So, it's just because the time zone differences. But we're going to see these meetings, Mike. And honestly, like I said, I think this Xi meeting with some of these CEOs here is going to be huge. They're saying that he can meet with anyone from Elon Musk all the way up to Citigroup's Jane Fraser.
There we go. So basically the main opportunity with this is to keep a very close eye on stocks like BABA, so BABA. You also have Baidu, which is BIDU. You have JD, which is JD.com. And if you want to keep your life nice and simple, you could just watch KWEB or FXI, both of which are basically a bunch of Chinese stocks all in one. What's also worth noting is if President Xi has some good news with a specific company like Tesla or Citigroup or Nvidia, something like that, that can also have a big influence on those stocks specifically. But essentially what we're looking for is some big news, whether it be, better or better tensions between the U.S. and China, or just anything optimistic between these two countries can really move the markets. Multiple times in the past, when tensions got worse, the markets tanked down in a major way, and multiple times in the past, when tensions got better, the markets sure loved it. So this is like a underhyped event. It has a lot of potential to move the markets, but for now, we just have to wait and see how the event fully plays out.
Exactly, Mike. The event is not done yet, and it'll probably go pretty deep into the night tonight, like we said, especially with him set to meet with certain CEOs and etc. So definitely keep these stocks on watch. And watching the SPY for right now, it actually had a pretty bad close, down around the low of the day. If the China stuff kind of gets a little bit out of hand, maybe we could see some moves to the downside there. But at the same time, I really like these China stocks, Mike. Like BABA, if we go out to a daily, is starting to bounce up off of big support as well. And it's just really good to see these stocks recover. There's a lot of opportunities here over the next, I would say, day and even couple weeks with China stocks.
And another thing worth noting, just because China stocks are worth watching now, that doesn't mean they have to triple in 2 days, in the same way that these stocks can explode if the news is good, these stocks can also get, smacked around pretty bad if the news is negative, so keep that in mind. Like, when we say opportunity, it doesn't just mean to the upside. Like, the news can be bad, and we could all make a bunch of money shorting these stocks or playing puts as well, so keep that in mind. Another thing I really want to talk about, though, is like when we look at these China stocks, like you have Alibaba at a very significantly oversold point, and when investors all around the market look at a stock like that and they compare it to a stock like Nvidia, which is basically at its all-time high and super overextended to the upside, it makes people think pretty hard. So, the main thing right here is like we have a lot of big tech stocks way too overbought, where the smart money's like, I'm not going to buy in here. And then we have some of these stocks that haven't gotten that much love over the years at some pretty tempting levels.
Exactly, and I feel like that China obviously is a big outlier, right? Like they could always have something with Taiwan. And then I'm even a little bit worried about the semiconductor stocks, Mike, like Nvidia. Stocks like that have been taking flack with exports to China. They've been trying to limit the amount of tech China can have. So China has such a big role on not just our economy, but even the global economy. They're such a big player in the global infrastructure. So keep this in mind for tomorrow and the next couple days. But I will say, Mike, with the way the market's overextended, I don't know if China can even help us here if we'll start taking profits.
Yeah, we shall see. But what's also worth noting is that we are coming into a pretty strong time of the year. So seasonality charts are something that we cover quite a bit. And as we can see in the chart right now, with the dark blue line, we could see the average performance of the market in Q4 over like the past 20 years or so. And in the light blue line, we can see basically what the market has done so far. We are coming into a time of the year where the market normally pulls back a little bit, which is not surprising at all, given how overbought the market is. But from here on out, historically speaking at least, the market has been pretty bullish.
Yeah, and what's striking me with this, Mike, is like a lot of, obviously the market's overbought in the short term, right? But we're actually just under the average. So like if you're looking at seasonality, there's still room to the upside here. Now, for the next few days, it looks like there's historically a dip, but over the next, I would say, 10 days to next month or so, historically it's been pretty good. So I'm not saying the market's going to go up just because of this, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on considering the time of the year. And a lot of people like to talk about that Christmas rally, and it looks like that might be happening. I know Target had a really good day today.
There we go. And speaking of Target, earnings stocks are still on the schedule. Tom, what else do we have for earnings for the week? Make it quick because I know it's not too exciting.
Yeah, so we did talk about BABA a lot tonight, so I really want to hit on this. BABA does report tomorrow before open, so if they pop up with earnings and there's good news with the China meeting between Xi and Biden, then BABA might be a great option for a post-earnings run tomorrow. So watch BABA, keep Walmart on the radar. Target did great today. I know a lot of people were looking at Walmart calls. I don't recommend it, but hey, definitely watch it post earnings, though. It might be a good opportunity. And then in after hours, we have Applied Materials and Ross, Gap, a couple others, but really we're done for the week with earnings, Mike. The bigger ones already came out this week, like C Limited and Target, and really Walmart and Bob are the last two we got.
All right, and then what about the economic schedule?
Yeah, nothing really too much there. If we go to today, the PPI numbers came out. A lot of people were surprised by that. But as we go into tomorrow, there's a lot of Fed speakers, so watch that. There's initial jobless claims 1 hour before the market opens. And then Friday, we even have building permits. But really, there's not too much on the economic schedule either, which makes me happy. We can just watch this price action play out and hopefully not have to worry about it too much.
Beautiful. Well, with that being said, let's get right into some setups for tomorrow. A stock I'm watching pretty closely is NIO. I have been talking about this stock quite a bit this week. NIO is very oversold. It has good momentum coming in. It has potential to move with the China news. It's already up 5% today, which is great to see. And overall, I think the risk reward to the upside in the short term is pretty solid.
Man, you've been hitting on this one a lot, Mike, and I love to see it fly up. Anyone in the premium Discord should know why I love it. So I'm glad to see it going up, Mike. And look at that weak correlation to the SPY. If the SPY starts to pull back, NEO could still outperform. So I love to see that with NEO. For tomorrow, the reason why I love that weak correlation so much, Mike, is my first play is actually SQQQ to the upside. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be a play you have to just feel out. Don't just run into calls blindly on this, but I looked at the QQQ and the SPY today and saw some pretty big pullbacks towards the end of the day. If we start to break support on QQQ right around 384, I will watch these puts to the downside on QQQ, and then I'll also look at calls on SQQQ. So I love SQQQ, Mike. It can have some big days if the market falls, but then again, if the market goes up, this is a no play. So just keep that in mind.
Alrighty. Another stock I'm watching pretty closely is PayPal. So another stock I've been talking about a good amount lately, and for a good reason, as it had a pretty good day. Basically, it's still very oversold, and it is in a recovery phase right now. I think the risk reward to the upside in the short term is pretty great here. It's very oversold. It's at a good valuation, and it has a weak and slightly negative correlation to SPY. So even if the market itself falls, there's a decent chance that PayPal could be like, I don't really care what you're doing. I'm going to do my own thing. So I definitely like that about this setup.
Yeah, me too. PayPal's awesome. And what I've noticed a lot of these underpriced growth stocks starting to recover up a lot lately, whether you're looking at PayPal or Zoom or Square or honestly any of them. They've all done great the past week or so and just continue to do well. So I love it, Mike. I'll keep PayPal on the radar. I might make some people angry with this one, Mike, but I'm looking at Tesla to the downside for tomorrow. I think that this short-term run is coming to an end here at the end of the day today. They got pretty close to 250 today, running up to about 246.50 and then rejecting, and they fell under intraday support around 243 again. So I'll be watching this one down tomorrow, especially if they break under 240. That's going to be a big area, but Tesla to the downside, like I said, it might make some people mad, but it's been running up so much lately. I think it's time for a pullback on some of these stocks at least, and it might not mean that they're going to crash and burn, just maybe a day or two of pullbacks and then more bullish maybe. But overall, we all know the market's overextended right now. It's just a matter of when is it going to finally pull back.
Indeed. Alrighty, well with that being said, let's get right into the momentum plays, and with the first one, we have old reliable GLD to the upside.
Yeah, if gold starts popping back above 182.20 tomorrow, go ahead and look at the calls.
Alright, with the next one, we have Coinbase also to the upside.
Yeah, COIN looking pretty good here today. Maybe Bitcoin will go up, and they're sitting right at $100, guys. That is a big psychological level. So I'll say if they break above like $100.20, then look at calls.
All right, and then with the last one, we have the powerhouse, Apple, for both directions.
Yeah, Apple pulled back to support from yesterday, which is pretty good. If they fall under 187.70, then go ahead and look at puts to the downside tomorrow. I think there could be a pullback, but if they end up bouncing and running up above 188.80, then look at the calls.
All right, so we have the upside level for calls with Apple. We have the downside level for puts. This is only a play if it breaks those levels. And then don't forget about Coinbase and GLD with the upside potential there as well. Again, they're only plays if they break above those levels. But Tom, let's get right into today's big money trade of the day. This one is a pretty interesting one. And I bet our viewers will have no idea what type of stocks it has to do with, because we definitely didn't talk about them for most of the video, but it is with FXI. So again, with these China stocks, it looks like the big money is sniffing out some opportunity here. But basically, we had about a little bit over $2 million put into the FXI $28.85 strike call options for March 15th of 2024. Again, FXI is basically a bunch of Chinese stocks all in one. It looks like the big money is also a fan of the setup right now, which is a pretty good thing to see. You know, it's never a bad sign if you see the big money trading on your side. But looking at FXI, you know, for all the reasons we talked about, clearly there is a big move coming out of these Chinese stocks, and a lot of it depends on how the meetings turn out over the next couple days over there in California. So keep a close eye on it.
Yeah, hopefully the meetings turn out pretty well. I know it's going to be a pretty rough next couple days if they don't. So I really hope that the China stocks do better. And Biden's main goal, like we talked about yesterday, was to establish better communications with the Chinese and kind of help those U.S. relations. So maybe he can use his charm, Mike. I don't know. You know, I don't know how much charm he has. I haven't met him personally, but they do say that Biden does have some type of charm to him. So maybe we'll see something. But hey, you know, it's a big meeting, Mike, and this is a fun play with FXI. A lot of money going into these calls here. I mean, that's $2 million. Normally, we talk about plays that are like 500,000, maybe $1 million, but $2 million is pretty big. And I like that it has some time. It's not like it expires in a month or two. It does give us time to hold this through a pretty solid uptrend. I would think with the 28.85 calls, I would target maybe like $29.20 or even $30 to the upside if we do go on a nice run here.
Exactly. You know, and the stock is at a pretty historically low level as well. The options are not too far out of the money. Like you said, they have some time to them. So overall, it's definitely a, you know, decent big money play. So keep a close eye on it. The premium is quite a bit as well. So yeah, keep a close eye on this one going forward. It should be pretty interesting, not only over the next couple weeks, but even over the next couple days. So there we go. But I just want to throw out a quick reminder that every Wednesday night, Tom and I go live and answer questions and go over like educational sessions on Discord. So basically tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time and all the other time zones listed on the screen right now, you can join Tom and myself, and you know, we have a great time. Last week was the first event and it was phenomenal. If you do want to join, you have to be a member of the premium portion of the StockedUp Discord. With that, you also get access to all of our bots. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long. You get access to these big money trades that we talk about in every single video before the market closes, and you get access to literally everything you could possibly need for short-term trading. It's a great program, and yeah, it's as simple as that. So if you want to join tonight's meeting, again, it starts at 9 p.m., so definitely check it out. The link will be the first link in the description and the comments down below. But with everything being said, Tom, you know, the market is at a very crucial point right now. We're starting to see a little bit of profit taking creep into some of these big tech stocks. So I think we're set for a pretty exciting end to the week.
Yeah, and you know, I've been looking at this pullback today, and you know, there's been a couple times to where the market it's closed fairly close to lows or something like that intraday, but for the most part, it keeps pulling back towards like market close, except for like last Thursday. But whenever I look at the market today, it had that close down around lows. So I'm pretty worried about tomorrow. I hope that we don't tank down too much, but I think that we will have some type of pullback here. So like I said, keep your eyes on SQQQ. I'll even give you an end of video, you know, extra stock here, UVXY. I know we talk about that one a lot, but if the market does start to fall, UVXY should do pretty good as well.
How nice of you, Tom. There we go. But yeah, UVXY has that explosive potential when the market freaks out. So keep a close eye on that as well. But I also want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Luis Quintero in the Stocked Up Discord. You've been in the chat for like 3.5 years now, and you've been a great member. So huge shout out to you. Thank you for everything. Again, if you guys want to join today's live event, it's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so you better hurry up. We do them every week. Again, it'll be that first link in the description in the comments down below. But besides that, let's have an amazing rest of the week.